Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I am talking about Bishop by Candace Nola. And that wonderful cover. This is uncomfortably dark horror and cover art by Don Noble. I love that. Just the bright reds and look at that creature. Really nice. So, this is the story of Troy Spencer, who is looking for his missing sister and niece in the Alaskan wilderness, and he wants the best tracker that he can find, and that happens to be Bishop. And they go off in search of his sister and niece, and shit goes down, and there's an ancient evil. That's your nutshell. The book actually starts in 1990. Let me take a quick gander. I believe that's what it said. Yes. So basically, you're cold open, and there's a young boy and his parents driving on a trip, and there's an accident, and that's all I'm going to tell you about it. And then we jump ahead 25 years to Troy Spencer, and he is packing up to go up to where his sister and niece were camping and hiking and all this stuff because they've been missing for about 5 days, and he wants to join the search. He's a lumberjack, and he's got some survival skills, but he also knows the dangers of the Alaskan wilderness, and so he goes up to this area and he meets the rangers and the search party and everything, and he says, but I'd like to find a tracker and go out myself, and I don't want to get in anybody's way, but I'd like to go to their campsites where they were last. We know their campsite was, and look at that, and et cetera, et cetera. So he sets off, and he actually he hears about this guy Bishop, but can't find him. So he ends up hiring a different guy as a tracker, Tony. Is it Tony that he takes? Because there's a Tony in there, because I kept mixing Troy and Tony up. But anyway, Bishop eventually shows up, and the search is on. So, yeah, I don't want to. This is just early days in the story, so I don't want to, obviously give away the entire thing. Candace Nola. This is the first book that I have read by Candace Nola, and I really enjoyed this for a number of reasons. First of all, look at that cover. That should tell you something about what's in this book. And right off the bat, I'm loving this. And then, and this may be spoilers for anybody who knows me, the ancient evil, the thing, the badness is one of my favorite ancient evil thing, badness, whatever you want to call it. It's I'm just gonna keep it as vague as I can so as not to give it away, but it is something that I love. And I did not know when I bought this book that that's what it was. So I was very excited to find out that it was this thing. Yeah, not gonna tell you. Um, so right off the bat, we've got the book's got that going for it. But Candace Nola has a really nice writing style, and she develops our characters. We get to know Troy very, very well, and we get to know his niece, I'd say, more than his sister. And the POV does change from chapter to chapter. Not necessarily every chapter, but a lot of it we're with Troy, but every once in a while we're with his sister or his niece as they're struggling to survive. And there's a reason that they haven't reported in or anything. They are lost out there, and they are, at least Casey is his niece, is very aware that there's something horrible out there that's hunting. And then and Bishop is a really interesting character once we meet Bishop. Uh, excuse me, getting over this cold. I like Bishop, very cool character, interesting backstory, and um, so it's sort of this survivalist kind of story along with this horror monster story mixed together, because a lot of it builds to the monstrous, supernatural, whatever you want to call it, kind of horror. But in building up to that, we've got this whole survivalist thing. There's snow. They're out there, and not just Aaron is the sister, so not just Aaron and Casey, excuse me, trying to survive, but Troy and Bishop, the search parties, are out there in this harsh weather, trying to find these lost people, but also trying to survive themselves, and not knowing that there's something else out there. And it all culminates, and it's well written. It builds nicely, and then when we get to the big secrets and the clash and what's going on, I think it's well earned, and it's very exciting. So I gave this 4 out of 5 on Goodreads, and probably I could have gone up to 4.5 if you could do half stars. Excuse me. But very, very much enjoyed this and was very excited. As of this recording, Candace Nola announced less than a week ago that there's a sequel coming out, or at least another book. Could be a prequel, sequel. I don't know what it's going to be. But showed the cover, shared the cover for it, and so I'm excited for that. I'm absolutely happy to dip my toe back into this world. Excuse me. So yeah, I recommend this if you like creature horror, if you like survivalist kind of stuff. I don't know what Candace Nola's experience is with the Alaskan wilderness, or with, trying to survive in these harsh environments, but it rang true to me because I don't know either. It seemed authentic, I guess is what I want to say. But yeah, I recommend this. Really fun, good, interesting horror with, it's the bonus that it's got something I really, really like in it. And I like the character development and the character building. So that's Bishop by Candace Nola. 4 out of 5. Pick it up. It's well worth your time, I think. All right, so I don't really have a question. I was thinking of one, but I don't want to do that. So, you know what? I still have a cold. It's Christmas Eve. I'm recording this on Christmas Eve, so my gift to myself is I'm not going to bother thinking of a question. But if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, you can put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the usual YouTube stuff. If you care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is at Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That's all I've got for you. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.